IVM.
Welcome to Absolutely Right. This is your host Aditi Surana. In the previous episode, I interviewed IVM podcaster and a habit coach, Ashton Doctor. That episode stirred the discussion around good habits, bad habits, high performers habits. Though we all know habit formation takes time, we also secretly hope that we get some quick fix, isn't it? Some people ask me about best ways of forming habits, and my answer irritates most of them. It depends on your personality, I mostly reply. I love framework, honestly. They help you build insights into your own psyche, decode your own functioning, clarify the motives behind your action. I like them. And by that, I'm not referring to which animal you are or which fruit you are. That is no framework. I'm talking about real personality assessment. Now, we all have formed habits of some type, good or bad. But when it comes to purposefully starting a new habit, your personality type can say a lot about it. Whether it will work or not, what part will work, which one will not. A famous blogger and author, Gretchen Rubin, presented this idea of 4 personality types for habit formation. She says when you're trying to impose a behavior on yourself, you're trying to give yourself a rule. And people respond very differently, very differently to the idea of rules, requests, and demands. It is very important for you to know yourself and your own nature when it comes to habit formation. She presented 4 personality types. The upholder, the one who responds readily to outer and inner rule. Upholders are motivated by fulfillment. They want to know the rules. They want to know what is exactly expected out of them. They want to avoid making mistakes or letting people down, including themselves. They wake up and think about their to-do lists. They want to check off things as early as possible. If you are an upholder, forming habits is easy for you. Following the instructions of the habit is more than enough. Second thing you just have to keep in mind is put them on your to-do list and make sure you do not get super exhausted doing everything. The rebel, the one who resists all the rules. Rebels are motivated by a sense of freedom, which they want right now. They resist control, even self-control. Instead, they choose to act from impulse or freedom. Rebels get kick out of breaking the rules. If given a choice, they will break all the rules possible. But at times they also say things like, I will show you. Or just watch me, okay? Or they also believe, I'm not doing this because you told me to. I'm doing it because I wish to do it. As a rebel, it is very difficult for you to form habits. So try this method of reverse psychology. Try tricking your mind into forming a habit by telling yourself you cannot do it. It may sound really funny, but I know some people who tried it and it worked for them. The questioner. The questioner questions all rules. They follow them only if it makes sense. Questioners are very intellectually engaged. They want to see the arguments on both sides. They decide to form a habit only if it makes sense. And if they don't agree, they do not follow that habit. Now, if you're a questioner, take some time to do research. Learn about everything around that habit and make sure that your knowledge is convincing enough for you to fuel your habit. The obliger. Obligers respond readily to outer rules, but they struggle to keep their inner rules. They're motivated by external accountability, but find it difficult if they have to impose the same ideas on themselves. They say things like, I can work out regularly if I am in a group, but if I have to do that alone, it doesn't work. They dislike letting people down, so they respond very well to deadlines, coaches, partners, trainers, even late fees, and responsibilities if they are given to them by other people. But they are prone to feel burnt out trying to do all these things on their own. So, if you are an obliger, remember, you are not good at starting things on your own. And definitely not good at continuing them, isn't it? Do not do it alone. Make sure you go to a gym where you can work out with other people. If you want to get into healthy food habits, make sure you involve your family into it. And on your regular activities, find a buddy to enjoy those activities with. To be frank, my take on habit formation is contrary to most coaches. Some of you who tend to follow habits religiously might dismiss my point completely. That's okay. Those who are struggling to get on board to make great habits work might feel irritated. However, at the cost of disappointing some of you, let me state my point authentically. I find any habit, whether it is a good habit or a bad habit, is a way of being unaware, being on an autopilot. Our minds and bodies are going through numerous changes on a daily basis. What was applicable, suitable, or even required for you yesterday might not be suitable today. Most people create this long list of what they should do when it comes to habits, and they keep on criticizing themselves non-stop. You cannot decide at what speed you will be driving your car tomorrow, or how many minutes would you be spending in the shower tomorrow. It depends on the traffic or how dirty you are, isn't it? When you are in a flow, feeling purposeful and uncontrollably inspired by the impact your work is creating in the world, you don't need motivational quotes. You wake up with enthusiasm and jump out of your bed. It's natural. However, until you feel that way, using affirmation is a great habit. But our goal is to achieve that level of excitement and not to be dependent on any external crutch. The Sanskrit word sadhana means to practice. The root word of sadhana is sadhan, which means a device or an instrument. I wonder if that implies that your practice is merely an instrument for you to go beyond your current limitation. So what should be done? As a high-performance coach, my pursuit is to get each and every person in a state of flow. We discussed the flow concept in our last Friday's episode. Check it out if you haven't heard it yet. I say this very often in my sessions and conversations. We all are blinded by what we want to do, what we want to achieve, when we want to do it. The essence of joyful life is how we feel when we are performing the task at hand. Our motive behind the action defines our experience of the action. We have attached a diagram for you of these 4 personality types and a list of questions to reflect deeper, to know your inner dialogue while forming a habit. Find that link in the description of this episode. You can also find it on my website aditisurana.com. Thank you so much for joining me today on Absolutely Right. It's a privilege to talk to people who share similar commitment and willingness to continuously learn, grow and transform. Next week on Wednesday, I'm interviewing Gauri Devi Dayal. She is the owner of one of the most celebrated restaurants in Bombay, The Table. Till then, happy writing!